श्री गिरिधारी लाल की, श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निरागौर प्रेमानंदी। Thank you. Lovely smell. There's a great deal of difference between shop flowers, shop bought flowers, and say flowers grown in our own gardens by devotees looked after, taken care after. The fragrance, the smell, the love, and the flower's life. It's a huge difference. Yeah, same with the vegetables, and same with the kind of material life and practicing Krishna consciousness. So we continue studying from our family business, the great art of distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. This is Krishna Book Saves the Day. When Brahmananda arrived in San Francisco and showed Srila Prabhupada the books, Srila Prabhupada was especially pleased to hear how Brahmananda had sold a copy on the plane. Shri Shri Karantai Mayapur Sashi Ki Jai. And please, we'll request for the folder. Sorry, I missed taking it myself. We'll be reading before the class on Devanand Pandit Divine Disappearance Day. Ramananda remembers how Srila Prabhupada then gave the carton to Garga Muni to distribute at the Rath Yatra. He gave the books over to Garga Muni, who had set up a book table. As Garga Muni got up to leave with the carton, Srila Prabhupada said, "This one also." And he handed over his personal copy lying on his desk. We were stunned. Srila Prabhupada had just expressed so much satisfaction in receiving this gorgeous production. But instead of relishing his own copy, he was more satisfied to have it distributed to the public. The books were quickly snapped up from the tables. The debut of the Krishna books was the sensation of the festival. It was a marvelous book launching. His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. No. Yeah, and don't remember such, and I imagine the front cover picture must be very attractive. Is it the same as kind of what we have now? Yeah. I mean, in 17s, in the 80s, 90s, like speaking, say in the Western world, these books with these front cover Radha Krishna and also Srimad Bhagavatam sets. Now I think we don't distribute much Srimad Bhagavatam books or sets, kind of loose sets on the streets. But I remember, like at least I remember some devotees from Karuna Bhavan distributing it on the streets, and you open those small books, Srimad Bhagavatam sets, and see those beautiful pictures, the titles and everything, fascinating. No, I think maybe we'll be sharing from the laptop itself. And today is the Divine Disappearance Day of Devananda Pandit, and also today is Shafala Ekadasi. So we'll read a bit on Shafala Ekadashi and on the Divine Disappearance Day as well. Mother Sachi said, "You have spoken very nicely. I shall not eat grains on Ekadashi." From that day, she began to observe fasting on Ekadashi. So this, I believe, is a beautiful pastime Mahaprabhu has with his mother, wherein he is giving arguments on, uh, like, apparently, Mother Sachi, she didn't observe Ekadashi fastings. She didn't used to, but Mahaprabhu has a pastime with her. It is a prejudice among Smarta Brahmanas that a widow must observe fasting on Ekadashi. But a woman who is Sadhava, who has her husband, should not. It appears that before Lord Chaitanya's request, Sachi Mata, being Sadhava, was not observing Ekadashi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, introduced the system that a woman, even if not a widow, must observe the Ekadashi day, must observe the Ekadashi day, and must not touch any kinds of grains, even those offered to the deity of Vishnu. So, what happens to the grains which is offered to the deities? On,
They actually were supposed to break Ekadasi, the grains that were offered on.
so, it's supposed to be offered on Dwadashi day, the day following Ekadashi. And as Prabhu says, yes, what we offer to the Lord, the remnants, we should relish that. This was in Chaitanya Charitamrta Adi Lila 15.10. And reading about the uh, divine devotee Sri Devananda Pandit. Living in Kulia during Sri Chaitanya's pastimes, Sri Devananda Pandit gave professional readings of Srimad Bhagavatam, tainted with Mayavad philosophy. One day, when Shivas Pandit heard his Bhagavad Katha, he began to cry and fell to the ground. Becoming disturbed by this display, the foolish disciples of Devananda threw Shivas out of the assembly. By silently observing this misbehavior of his disciples, Devananda committed the Hatimata Aparadha, the mad elephant offense of blaspheming a pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Sometime later, Vakreshwara Pandit was a guest in his house, and when he explained the science of Krishna, Devananda was convinced about the divinity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and surrendered to him. The Lord pardoned his offense and blessed him with bhakti. Thus, he was induced to explain Srimad Bhagavatam according to the Vaishnava understanding. Formerly, he was Bhaguri Muni, who recited Vedic literature in the house of Nanda Maharaj. Srila Devananda Pandit Thakur Maharaj ki जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैता चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we continue studying Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 20 and text 154 onwards. 158 has a purport, so we'll request your cooperation in that verse. Until then, maybe I will do the shloka and translation, please. Text 154. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. Govinda is the sweetest name of Krishna. Govind, one who gives pleasure to the senses, one who gives pleasure to the cows. Go denotes senses as well, as we know. Go denotes cow as well. And what else? Go denotes gopis as well, and Golok Vrindavan as well, Gokul as well, where Krishna was born, raised. So, Krishna, who is known as Govind, by far the sweetest name of Krishna. And he gives pleasure to the cows, to the senses, to Brajvasis. And this verse and many other such verses, they are very On the face of it, yes, very nice. He is an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. But even Krishna is caused by something. God is also caused by something to perform the pastimes. And that cause, what causes God to perform the pastimes is the loving sentiments, the loving attachments, the loving mood, the reciprocations of the Brajvasis, who are his eternal associates. The Ragatmika Bhaktas, devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. And Krishna cannot resist himself. He just cannot hold himself back, or he cannot resist himself. So for the whole world, entire universe, say, he is origin of all, no other origin, and he's like limitless. Uh, he's the supreme father. He's this and that. He's all powerful, all capable, omniscient, omnipresent, everything. Although he is. But for Brajvasis, Krishna is Yogmaya, by Yogmaya arrangements, beautiful arrangements, Krishna has to think, he has to act. Krishna says na, in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, everything is happening, I am not acting though, and all. And if, still, if I don't act, then there will be ruination in this world. So much good teachings he gives. But in especially in Braj, in his Vrindavan pastime, he has to scratch his head, he has to act, he has to think about ways, how do I do this pastime, how do I meet, how do I not meet, and all. स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण गोविंद पर नाम सर्वेश्वरे पूर्णयारा गोलोक नित्य धाम. The original supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna. His original name is Govind. He is full of all opulences, and his eternal abode is Goloka Vrindavan. Vrindavana Parityajya Padekam na gacchati. It comes and that leaving Vrindavan, Krishna never steps a foot aside outside of Vrindavan, never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavan is his eternal abode. And eternal means since eternity. Nitya Vrindavan, where eternal pastimes are happening. Now, we have been in this material world since eternity, but now we have an opportunity to break this cycle. We have an opportunity to break this cycle and go for eternity into the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. This sublime opportunity has been bestowed upon us. Actually, bestowed upon anyone who is a human being. Then on top of that, not just like human beings, now we have some faith. On top of that, we are practicing Krishna consciousness. On top of that, we are aspiring for initiation, Guru Padashaya, or we have taken the vows of initiation. Furthermore, we are trying to understand the message of Mahaprabhu and build a mood in the message of Mahaprabhu. You know, Bhagavad Gita 15.6, very sweet message Krishna gives, ultimate message actually. Krishna gives, na tad bhasyate suryo na sashanko na pavaka yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by sun, moon, neither fire nor electricity. Tad dhama paramam, and in that, one who reaches my abode never returns to this material world. And in that purport, one of the sentences Prabhupada writes that one should be fascinated by such information. Who else can give us this guarantee? Who else has given us this guarantee? Can parents give any guarantee to their children? Can doctors give any guarantee to their patients? No one. Government, no. No one gives us that guarantee as Krishna is giving us the guarantee. So Prabhupada writes, one should be fascinated. And this is, we are practicing Krishna conscious devotees, right? There has to be a destination, there has to be a mood, there has to be a vision, there has to be understanding. There has to be a goal. Ete cham sakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. Very nice. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. In every age, He protects the world through His different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. This is just a one sentence purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. See also Adi Lila chapter 2 verse 67. So this is the Siddhantik shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam. Na? Ete chamsa kala pumsa. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam Nidayanti Yuge Yuge. All the plenary portions, the parts of plenary portions, we are also expansions of Krishna. Krishna says na, in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Mamai Vamsa. We are also parts and parcels, we are expansions of Krishna. We are not Vishnu Tattva though, we are Jiva Tattva, but yet being the higher superior energy, we are also expansions of Krishna. And then this the plenary portions, the parts of plenary portions, all the Purusha avatars, they find their source where? In Krishna. Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam. Simple message, na? Very clear and Siddhantic message. Not even say Balram to Bhagwan Swayam or anyone. Huh? Even Lord Balram is the first expansion of Lord Shri Krishna. And what to speak of any other Narayan Murtis. Now, for in this verse also, what do we see? There is some verse which is for the world to see on a moral light a bit, on an educational light a bit, that yes, there is God, practice spirituality and all for. But us practicing Krishna consciousness, we are what? Like our acharyas wrote this book called what? Nectar of Devotion, Waves of Devotion, Nectar of Devotion, Ocean of Devotion, what it is called? Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. We practice Bhakti, na? And Bhakti is full of rasa. Without rasa, what Bhakti is there as such? So, in order, we are after attaining the Rasa Rajya, the kingdom of rasa. That is what we are after, attaining Rasa Rajya. So, from philosophical standpoint, yes, Krishna is the original supreme personality of God, and he appears after millennium. Uh, he appears, and why? To kill the enemies of Indra who are causing disturbance in the cosmic manifestation and working. But this is not what God is just limited. Okay, there is problem in the universe millennium after millennium. Indra is now getting really unsettled. Demigods are getting very disturbed. So fine, I appear and I sort things out and I teach some moral lessons and all, create a balance and equality, equilibrium, and then I move on from there. Yeah, which is fine. Krishna does this very, very nice as well to help the society function at a level of duty. Uh, but the primary reason of Krishna's appearance is not to sort out the enemies of Indra or to give him Indra some satisfaction or to attend to the prayers of the demigods. That is a secondary reason. The primary reason Krishna comes is for his own enjoyment. Whatever Krishna does is for his own enjoyment. So the primary reason Krishna comes is for his own enjoyment and to relish pastimes with his devotees, to relish picnic with his devotees, to have a wonderful picnic with his devotees. And he's like, okay, let's check this universe out. Let's go there, let's see there, let's go there and all. And through his desires, Yogamaya is creating all of these universes and everything to facilitate Krishna's unending desire. God, God has unending desires. He's never satisfied. Never satisfied. always greedy, always hungry, always up to something. Krishna is always up to something. So for this to relish Krishna's pastimes, Krishna has his loving pastimes, and the purpose Krishna has his pastimes is also to see the smile on Brajvasis. And amongst Brajvasis we understand the gopis, and among gopis we understand the Parama Gopi Shrimati Radharani. To see them smile, to see their emotions, experience and kind of delight in those emotions and take part in those emotions. As a secondary reason, okay, yeah, to satisfy Indra, and like we see na Govardhan Puja, the under the pretext of man bhanjan of Indra to subdue his pride. Under the pretext of subduing his pride, Krishna performs this pastime, so wonderful pastime of lifting the Govardhan hill, so that for 7 days and 7 nights he doesn't have to worry about going to the forest or coming home in the evening and all. Under one roof, he's seeing all Brajvasis, he's seeing the gopis 7 days and 7 nights, and he's having glances with them and whatnot. He is doing very cunningly his glance and secretive messages and everything, and the gopis also loving it. Everyone there having a proper picnic under Govardhan Hill. What a picnic! There's no restriction. There's no restriction for Krishna or for any one of them there, and there's no like time limit or you have to follow certain things. No, complete free. So Krishna, and to show the world, yeah, Indra became puffed up and I calmed him down. Next 157 says, Jnana Yoga Bhakti Teen Sadhe Nirav Jnana Yoga Bhakti Teen Sadhe Nirevase Brahma Atma Bhagavan Trivridha Prakashe. There are three kinds of spiritual processes for understanding the absolute truth: the process of speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and bhakti yoga. According to these three processes, the absolute truth is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan. I have a question, please. I will read the translation once again and request for some clarity or understanding. So, translation says there are three kinds of spiritual processes for understanding the absolute truth: the processes of speculative knowledge, called as Gyan Yoga, same, mystic yoga, and bhakti yoga. Uh, According to these three processes, the absolute truth is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. What is the difference between mystic yoga and bhakti yoga? Prabhupada mentions sometimes in his purports in Bhagavad Gita, he mentions the word mystic yoga as well. You can check if the television screen is working or something. I think in chapter 2, text 439, or where he mentions mystic yoga, and somewhere in translation as well. So wonder what is the difference between mystic yoga and bhakti yoga? Or if at all there is a difference there. Somewhere in second chapter, Prabhupada mentions mystic yoga. Generally, also Prabhupada mentions mystic yoga throughout, like Bhagavad Gita and places in Bhagavatam. Now, in this yoga ladder, as generally described, Jnana Yoga, na? Or even say before Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, or even before that, general yoga means okay, at least be sane, be human. In the sense, understand that there is life after death. there's reincarnation, there's something like a creator of this universe, could be impersonal or personal, but there is some energy, some force, some power working behind, and acknowledge. And Karma Yoga, okay, do act something for the pleasure of the Lord, offer something, do something, act something to give away. Eh, And generally, Karma Yoga is what? Within Karma Yoga also we see some gradations. Like someone could be earning say £1,000 a month. Okay, fine. You keep some money for your friends, for your family, and for your maintenance, and also for your sense gratification. But £1,000 you are earning a month. Okay, at least give £50 to the temple. Hmm. Come to the temple, give £50 for prasad, whatever, for some services. So sort of karma yoga. Yes, I am working, and fine, I give some portion to the Lord as well. So I understand, Lord, you are there, you are providing and everything. This much I give you as a quota, something on those lines. Then Gyan Yoga, wherein now the perfection of Karma Yoga by doing perfect Karma Yoga, as in coming to a stage where, okay, perfect duty bound. God, you provide everything. I have a duty. I should be following the duty. So I shouldn't be asking anything for you. And I give everything, say, towards you. Huh? And by doing nishkam, without any expectation, by doing his proper duties very nicely as a citizen, husband, and everything, what would one attain? At the most, heavenly planet, Indra's abode. No further. Gyan Yoga is study of say, scriptures, wherein very philosophical study, even more subtle. Karma Yoga is a bit gross level, wherein you act, move about and all. Gyan is more subtle, wherein you apply your mind, intelligence, and you study, scrutinizing the scriptures and all everything. And by Gyan Yoga, you go into deep meditation. And what will the perfection, what will one attain is at the most Brahma Loka. At the most Brahma Loka. Then this Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga, then the mystic yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, the mystic yoga, Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, wherein you perform this metaphysical mysticism sort of, wherein by perfecting that, you go in deep austerities, one performs deep level of meditation, and what will one attain out of it at the maximum would be Brahman effulgence, Brahma Jyoti. But Bhakti Yoga is a loving devotional service. Actually, yoga means love only. Yoga means bhakti only. But because we have various desires and we cannot directly come to the platform of knowing and loving Krishna, so fine, try this yoga, and ultimately somehow or other in the along the path connect with bhakti. So there, yes, bro. Yeah, mystic yogis, you realize Paramatma within the heart, but then ultimately your understanding of Paramatma is like a impersonal feature, or uh, some of them as they say Tattvamasi, I am also the same. And in that sense, you don't see God as a personal being, and you don't love and serve God. You don't want to be in a relationship with God in that sense. So you see, yes, there is God within me, and I am also within God, and we are one sort of. And with that understanding, you continue further. Tremendous realization, you continue further, but you don't take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. You don't desire to serve Lord Vishnu, which would be Vaikuntha planets. And the sadhaka practitioner would attain where Vaikuntha planets if he's going beyond the Brahman effulgence. Okay. We can perform Bhakti Yoga and only attain Vaikuntha planets. So with mystic yoga, one cannot earn. And those who see the Lord as Paramatma in the heart and not necessarily performing Bhakti Yoga can still attain Vaikuntha planets, but they can go beyond Brahman effulgence. Yeah, would be nice to see which planet then they go beyond Brahman effulgence. I'll just read the translation once again. There are three kinds of spiritual processes for understanding the absolute truth: the processes of speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and bhakti yoga. According to these three processes, the absolute truth is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Now, Shishi Koranta Mayapur Sashi Ki. Now, today's verse is this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, again one of the most Siddhantic verse, principal, conclusive verse. Uh, so maybe I can do the translation, Sanskrit myself, and word to word we say. Vadanti tattvavidastatvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagvaniti sabdyate. So maybe if you would like to respond on the shloka, Prabhu, or someone. Yes. Vadanti, they say, tat, that, tattvavida, learned souls, tattvam, the absolute truth, yat, which, jnanam, knowledge, advayam, non-dual, brahma, brahman, iti, thus, paramatma, paramatma, iti, thus, bhagavan, bhagavan, iti, thus, sabdyate, is known. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 11. Those who are interested in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, which is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can attain that goal by speculative knowledge. Those who are interested in practicing mystic yoga can attain the localized aspect of Paramatma. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 1861, Ishvara Sarva Bhutani Riddhadesha Arjuna Tishtati. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated within the heart as Paramatma. He witnesses the activities of the living entities and gives them permission to act. For a further explanation, see Adi Lila, chapter 2, verse 11. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपां बुद्धिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम्. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वदन्ति तत्त्वविदः तत्त्वं यज्ञानम् अद्वयम्. So this knowledge of the absolute truth is the advayam, non-duals. There is no duality or there is no distinction. Brahm, Paramatma, Bhagavan. They all are same, as they call the non-dual substance. They all are non-dual substance. Different gradation though. Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. The different ways Prabhupada helps us explain in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the verse itself and in his classes. Like he gives different examples, right? And that from say someone in an aeroplane and he sees what lots of mountains, everything greenery he sees. Okay, that is like a huge mountain and everywhere huge greenery. So, but from a far distance, he is not able to see anything inside or anything more, anything further. So from a distance, he's seeing, oh, there's a huge mountain. So that's like the experience or realization of the absolute truth on the Brahman platform. On the Brahman platform, uh, Brahman denoting something grand, something huge, something completely big and spiritual nature, something very vast. So he sees what from a distance that the mountain is huge. It's huge. What do you describe it? Oh, it's huge. It's beyond description. It's limitless. Uh, it's limitless. It has no start. It has no end. No one can define it. No one can describe it. It is indescribable, infinite. Then sort of, and then in those words, we just leave it there. Now, and it is true, they are all referring to Krishna only, but there is something more to be known. So, Paramatma feature, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti sabdyate. Now, Paramatma feature, within the Paramatma feature, the sadhaka, the aspirant, he realizes that within this all huge cosmos, actually the Lord is residing within each and every atom, within each and every living entity. The Lord is there, sitting as Paramatma in their heart. Paramatma meaning Atma of the Atma. Krishna tells not to Arjuna, beautiful Krishna says to Arjuna in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 10:17 I believe, Aham Atma Guda Kesha. That I am the Atma of the Atma, Krishna says. Aham Adi cha mancha bhutanam anta eva cha. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am the end as well. And I am all pervading amongst all living entities. So, this Paramatma realization, a sadhaka practitioner realizes that everything is animate because of the energy and the presence of the Lord. The Lord is everywhere. So, the Lord is within me and he searches that there is no need to wander anywhere else. Within me, I've got Paramatma and looking, searching, meditating on the Paramatma within. So that realization, Brahman realization, the Lord is huge. Paramatma realization, the Lord is so subtle. Atma is very subtle. Na? The Vedic literatures describe Atma is like 1/10,000 of the tip of the hair, meaning so small it cannot be seen and all. And Paramatma, holding the Atma is even more smaller, say, in that sense. So he goes very subtle and very deep in his meditation and sees, yes, Paramatma residing in the heart. Brahman effulgence, they see, wow, huge creation and huge everything. And furthermore, the sadhaka then realizes what? Bhagavan. Prabhupada mentions the topmost realization that God is a person. Hmm? God is someone saying God is unlimited, God is huge, God has no beginning, God has no end, God is beyond description. That is Brahman realization of God, which is correct. Then someone, oh, God is lighter than the lightest, smaller than the smallest. Everything Paramatma realization. God is everywhere. God is within me. God is within you. Paramatma realization. And God is a person. That is the Bhagwan realization of God. Prabhupada gives more other examples around this, right? That a train. Now he says like, suppose in a village or a town, a railway station is set up and the new railway tracks are laid out, and first time the train is going to come. So before the train arrives, the tracks are laid out, the railway station, the logistics. So there's a lot of buzz in the village and nearby villages. Oh, train will come, train will come, train will pass the station, train will go, train will come. So they assemble. Okay, the time is given on Sunday. The on Sunday, 7th of January 2024, uh, like around half nine, say, in this Mexico train is going to come. So everyone gathers in the train station to see what this train is like, and they're anticipating and waiting. And from a distance, they see what? Oh, big smoke coming through. From a distance, they see big smoke coming through and big noise sound coming through. So what? Oh, train is what? It's a big smoke. It's a big noise, big sound coming through. That is train. That is train. So many leave the train station with understanding. Then some continue a bit waiting to see furthermore, and then they see some beyond that light. They see what? Okay, there is actually some coaches. There's some this coaches and a body and all, and then they move on. And those who stay ultimately, okay, to see the train proper pass through, they see, okay, there's a light, there's noise, there's sound, there's smoke, then there's coaches and all. And inside the coaches, there are people sitting. Someone is having some drink, someone having trips, someone reading a newspaper, someone playing, someone sleeping, and there's a driver, there are passengers, and there are staff members and all. So they see and then they move on. So the person who sees kind of this gets the full picture or the complete picture that yes, God is a person. And Krishna, ultimately God is a person who then expands himself. Like these are the sources of Brahman. The source of Paramatma is also resides in Bhagwan. On this note, maybe I will take a pause if there are any questions, comments, or any clarifications. Or no, you have explained very well. That question remains. Then what? That question remains, and for them as well. Then what? See, when someone goes very deep and subtle in their meditation, na, actually beautiful question, and the answer is this only, that then what? You can ask them yogis, and even now we find many yogis who go deep in waters, who go deep in the forest and caves, Himalayas, where not some places in India and even in Europe. Some we go to Spain, Portugal, and all, and we go in Italy. There's this mountain there, and we go deep and we meditate. Now they perform such austerity and very subtle meditation. We go silent. We completely detach ourselves from this body or any bodily experiences. We shut down all our sense organs and just focus on our that I am light, I am spirit, I am energy, and I focus on this, and I don't see anything matter. No, this is not my name. Say Italian for an example is not my nationality. I'm not woman, I'm not man. They cut off everything and very very subtle they go and very deep, very focused, very concentrated in their meditation to experience divinity in themselves and also to connect with the divinity. I'm in connection with the spirit, I'm in connection with the divinity. I'm seeing divinity and I'm seeing the spirit as well within me, the God within me, the Krishna within me. I'm seeing the Krishna within me. And in that such austere, subtle, deep meditation, when you go so into it, it is very difficult to come out of it. And of course, you get very good realization, tremendous realization. If I may say, as devotees may not be convinced we are not this body, them are convinced yogis, we are not this body. Such deeper realizations they get because they have detached themselves completely from matter. So they don't engage in any material sense gratification. They don't experience any material pangs also. Yeah, material miseries and all, whatever is happening in the world, COVID, no COVID, bodily stress from the body, mind and all, everything no. They realize I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. And then I've got the divinity within me. But then the question remains, what then? What next? We'll request His Grace Pradyumna Prabhu to. Thank you. Krishna says na, in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanvan Mam Prapadyante. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. After many, many lifetimes and births and performing austerities and all, Jnanvan Mam Prapadyate. Who realizes me? One who has got the real Jnana. One who is carrying Jnana, the knowledge. And what is the realization? That Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. And us practicing devotees currently, whatever may look like, okay, how come a person like me, look at my past, even in this body, look at my past life and all. But someone who in association of devotees is chanting, performing this ninefold process of bhakti, reading, hearing, chanting, deity worship and all, in association with devotees, he has covered all this realization or straight away Srimad Bhagavatam or Prabhupada is putting us straight away into the Bhagwan platform, loving and serving God as a person straight away, which is beyond Brahman, beyond Paramatma realization. And as you say, yeah, then what? So that question remains for us. Now, externally, we may not sound very deep thinkers, or externally, we may not sound that, okay, yes, we are very good at like sitting in one place for a long time, or not speaking and all of that. But the engagement and this practical meditation and this seva and this loving and serving Krishna, there is no comparison to someone who can sit for silence for 8 hours or 8 day silence course, what not all of that. And along the way, if they realize Paramatma within, great, then the Paramatma will help them, guide them. Okay, move on. But how much they want to move on? Also, na, once you go a bit inside in some sort of practice of form, we develop so much of conditioning of it. It's very hard to read back, to come out of it. You tell someone yogi who has spent 10, 15, 20, 30 years, what number of years, and of course he will have his realizations as well. And then we tell him, hang on, you're just kind of better now you do bhakti yoga and all. Very difficult for someone to. The most difficult part for a sadhaka, doesn't matter whichever yogi, whatever process and all, the most difficult is actually to give up our intelligence. See, practicing Krishna consciousness at one point to engage our mind is fine. We engage our mind and senses. Okay, mind we put in. But difficult to become, what becomes difficult is to give up the intent. How can I deny that I am not intelligent enough? How can I deny that I didn't have this, don't have this realization? Mystic yogi or bhakti or whosoever, na, Baba, I have this realization. How can I deny? How can I? So to give up intelligence is extremely difficult until and unless one takes the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Even then, it is very difficult, and this is why, na, Arjuna, Krishna told Arjuna that give up your intelligence, just surrender unto me. And then when one follows, when one listens, then yes, there is more to discover. What have we discovered so far? What have I discovered so far? No? And what shaky realizations, loose realizations, everything, but pride so high, so high. Thank you very much. Any other thoughts or everyone, Dhruva Maharaj, everyone gave up their intelligence, or like uh, Arjuna, na, he was quoting so many things to Krishna and he was holding on to. And finally he says, okay, my intelligence is blocking me. It's my intelligence which is blocking me. I give up my intelligence and I accept being your disciple. That doesn't mean that straight away actually he became a disciple. Eventually, after hearing all this talk, at least he realized what? That Krishna desires to have this fight. And fine, let me act in Krishna's desire. Now, throughout the process also, and actually, if we see in these 18 days of Mahabharata, we will see there are places where Arjuna is acting or working like, oh, doesn't sound like the pure devotee who has read Bhagavad Gita and everything. Huh? Like we see now, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, of course, before the war, right? Like before the war had actually started, say. And Arjuna said, I surrender, and yes, I will fight Krishna. But during the course of those 18 days, Arjuna becomes passionate and he says, what? Jara, is it Jaras? No, not Jarasandh. He says not to that person, if before the next day sun rises, I'm going to kill you. And if I don't kill you, I'm going to set myself off to fire. So Krishna was a bit bewildered. What sort of, again, passionate Kshatriya, driven by Kshatriya, this promise have you made? That if the sun does not rise, I'm going to kill you. And if I don't kill you, I'm going to kill myself. Does it make any sense? What if you are not able to kill him? And then next day, you put yourself on fire. You are putting the whole Yudhishthir Maharaj and the whole Pandav army in jeopardy in this thing. Why do you create this such situation? Uh, Although he said, I'm going to fight and everything, so still giving up this intel. One may take initiation, formal initiation in front of fire yagya. I'm so convinced, I'm so convinced. But then throughout the journey, how much am I giving up my intelligence as such and relying on the words of the scriptures? Guru Mukha Padma, on the words of the spiritual master. It is to see the vision of the spiritual master. Of course, spiritual master is a grand vision for all of us. But what is blocking? My intelligence somewhere is blocking that grand vision. Spiritual master has the capacity to make us a pure devotee. Spiritual master sees, wants us to become a pure devotee. But somewhere it is not our mind as such which is blocking. More the intelligence part is blocking. We question, we bring ourselves and all, and we say. So something giving up that intelligence. And throughout we see Prabhupada's life journey say, he never took any sort of intellectual credit or no, I did it. No. Firmly, it is my Guru Maharaj's mercy, my Guru Maharaj's mercy, or Mahaprabhu has sent you to me. Such a culture, such an etiquette. He is telling to his disciples, Mahaprabhu has sent you all beautiful young American, European boys and girls. You are assisting the mission of Mahaprabhu. Huh? You, my Guru Maharaj has sent. He never like, okay, I know, or the to give up this thing that I know. I saying this I know is a very dangerous. And how can we deny that I don't know? Huh? So until and unless we become humble and when we give our intelligence, when we submit our truly our intelligence, that is when we can see the beauty and the intelligence of Krishna. Not before that. Not at all. Draupadi, she was holding on to her intelligence a bit. Na? Okay, let me try Bhishma Pitama. I'm getting disrobed in this assembly, mistreated in this assembly and all. Let me try this king, that king. Let me try my husband's. And again, she was holding on to, even though calling out Govinda, but holding on to her this thing. No, no, let me up time. Then finally, okay, I give up altogether. Does that somewhat? Thank you. Any other thoughts or thank you very much for your kind participation and encouragement. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.